Hello YouTube, it is your favourite spookster YouTuber, Taught Spooky, here with the final instalment of my first YouTube series, the spookiest places in every United States state. It's been a hell of a ride, but this is like one of my favourite series, and I've gained like a pretty decent amount of subscribers off of this. Well, anyway, this is the last one, so make sure you get your fucking big boy pants on, because it's gonna be pretty fucking spooky. And I made a mistake in the first ever video. I forgot to mention Colorado entirely, so I will actually be listing Colorado as the first one, just as an apology. So, let's get first right into it with Colorado. Nestled in the picturesque town of Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel is famous not just for its stunning views of the Rocky Mountains, but for its chilling reputation as one of America's most haunted places. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, co-founder of the Stanley Motor Carriage Company, the hotel quickly became a luxurious mountain retreat for the elite, but it wasn't until author Stephen King stayed there in room 217 in 1974 that its eerie legacy exploded into pop culture. Inspired by a nightmare that he had during his stay, King wrote The Shining, forever binding the Stanley to supernatural lore. Guests and staff alike have reported strange occurrences, phantom piano music echoing from the empty ballroom, shadowy figures moving through halls, and mysterious laughter from empty rooms. Room 217, where King stayed, is infamous for odd happenings like luggage unpacking itself or lights flickering at random. Other hotspots include room 428, where a cowboy spirit reportedly watches guests as they sleep, and the fourth floor, where the giggles of unseen children are frequently heard. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, a night at the Stanley Hotel offers a spine-tingling blend of history and hauntings that's hard to shake. Okay, y'all, so before we actually get into this is actually another one of the haunted places on this list that I have actually been to. And also, there are some offensive symbols in here, but they meant a different thing back when this place was built. So don't get offended, okay? Okay, so towering 11 stories over downtown Rapid City, South Dakota, the Hotel Alex Johnson is a striking blend of elegance, history, and eerie legend. Built in 1928 by namesake railroad executive Alex Carlton Johnson, the hotel was designed to merge Germanic Tudor style with Native American influences, honoring the Black Hills cultural heritage. Over the years, it has hosted presidents, celebrities, and even Alfred Hitchcock during the filming of North by Northwest. But beyond its historic charm lies a darker side, one that has earned it a reputation as one of South Dakota's most haunted locations. The most infamous spirit said to roam the halls is the Lady in White, believed to be the ghost of a heartbroken bride who plunged to her death from a window out the 8th floor in the 1970s. Guests have reported seeing her drifting through the corridors in a flowing gown, while others have experienced lights flickering, faucets turning on by themselves, and chilling drafts in room 812. Staff and visitors also speak of a ghostly little girl who knocks on doors before vanishing, and an old man in vintage clothes who appears in the lobby without warning. With its storied past and supernatural buzz, the Hotel Alex Johnson remains a must-visit for ghost hunters and brave travelers alike. One of the most haunted places in Tennessee is the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, a site shrouded in mystery, folklore, and chilling encounters for over 200 years. The legend began in the early 1800s when the Bell family reported terrifying paranormal activity on their farm, phantom voices, objects moving on their own, and violent attacks by an unseen force. The entity, later known as the Bell Witch, seemed to focus most of its fury on John Bell and his daughter Betsy, tormenting them with disembodied voices, hair pulling, and even physical lapsed, John Bill eventually died under mysterious circumstances, which some say was the witch's final act of vengeance. The nearby Bell Witch Cave, a limestone cavern on the former Bell property, is now considered the epicenter of the haunting. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported eerie feelings, unexplained sounds, malfunctioning electronics, and ghostly figures deep within the cave. Many believe the witch's spirit still resides there, protecting its secrets and warding off the curious. With its deep roots in southern folklore and a long trail of eerie experiences, the Bell Witch Cave remains Tennessee's most chilling and iconic haunted location. One of the most haunted places in Texas is the Magnolia Hotel in Swagan, a 19th century structure with a chilling legacy. Originally built as a log cabin in the 1840s, the property later became a stagecoach shop, courthouse, jail, and eventually a hotel. Its long and varied history includes stories of murder, suicide, and intense paranormal activity, earning it a spot on countless ghost hunting shows and lists of America's most haunted sites, just like the ones I'm making, mate. Visitors and overnight guests have reported disembodied voices, shadow figures, and even full-bodied apparitions. The most infamous spirit is that of a young woman known as Itzy, believed to have been murdered in the hotel. Other reports include the ghost of a traveling salesman who hanged himself in one of the rooms, and a former prisoner who died violently when the building housed a jail. Paranormal investigators claim the spirits are essentially active in the original section of the hotel, where cold spots, flickering lights, and ghostly whispers are common. The Magnolia Hotel has since been restored, but the spirits seem to have never checked out, making it one of Texas' eeriest and most active haunted destinations. One of the most haunted places in Utah is the Rio Grande Depot in Salt Lake City. Built in 1910, the historic train station was once a bustling hub for travelers coming in and out of the state. Though now home to Utah State Historical Society and other offices, and the building carries a ghostly reputation that's hard to ignore. Over the decades, staff and visitors have reported chilling encounters, phantom footsteps, shadowy figures, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched in empty corridors. The most famous ghost tied to the depot is known as the Purple Lady, just like Five Nights at Freddy's. According to the legend, she was a young woman who was killed in a tragic accident on the train tracks while chasing after a lost engagement ring during the early 20th century. Her spirit, often seen in a violet dress, reportedly lingers near the women's restroom in the main hall, appearing and vanishing without a trace. Lights flicker, doors slam, and some claim to have even spoken with her, only to realize moments later they were alone. With its rich history and persistent paranormal activity, the Rio Grande Depot stands as Utah's most famously haunted landmark. One of the most haunted places in Vermont is the chilling Emily's Bridge in Stowe, officially known as Goldbrook Bridge. This 19th century covered bridge is steeped in legend and sorrow. According to the local folklore, a young woman named Emily was tragically jilted by her lover, either left waiting at the altar or abandoned at the bridge where they had planned to elope. Heartbroken and devastated, she is said to have taken her own life by hanging herself from the rafters of the bridge. Since then, strange and disturbing phenomena have plagued the area. Visitors to Emily's Bridge have reported intense paranormal experiences, claw-like scratches on vehicles, phantom footsteps echoing in the wooden boards, disembodied screams in the dead of night, and sudden cold spots. Some claim to have seen a misty white figure or glowing white eyes watching from the shadows. Others feel an overwhelming sense of sadness or even aggression when crossing the bridge alone. Those skeptics chalk it up to folklore. The countless eerie accounts over the years have cemented Emily's Bridge as Vermont's most haunted and heartbreaking location. One of the most haunted places in Virginia is the infamous St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford. Originally built in the late 1800s as a Lutheran boys' school, the site gained a dark reputation for bullying, violence, and suicides. In 1916, it was converted into a psychiatric hospital, an era where treatments like electroshock therapy, lobotomies, and hydrotherapy were common and often cruel. The combination of emotional trauma, suffering, and death seems to have left a deep, eerie imprint on the building. Today, St. Albans is a hotbed for paranormal activity. Ghost hunters and visitors report disembodied voices, shadow figures darting through the halls, objects moving on their own, and sudden, unexplained drops in temperature. The most haunted spots include the electroshock therapy room in the bowels of the old basement, where people claim to hear screams and whispers. Some have even seen apparitions of former patients wandering aimlessly through the crumbling corridors. With its tragic past and spine-chilling atmosphere, St. Albans Sanatorium remains one of Virginia's most terrifying and haunted locations. One of the most haunted places in Washington is the Northern State Hospital in Sedgwick. Opened in 1912 as a self-sufficient psychiatric facility, it once housed over 2,000 patients and featured its own farms, workshops, and even a cemetery. Though it closed in 1973, much of the original campus still stands, and so, it seems, do the lingering past and spirits. The hospital's dark history includes outdated and often brutal treatments such as lobotomies, isolation, and electroshock therapy. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported chilling experiences, unexplained cold spots, voices echoing in empty hallways, and shadowy figures peering from broken windows or wandering through abandoned buildings. The most unsettling area is the old morgue and the surrounding fields, where bodies were once buried in unmarked graves. Today, parts of the sites are used by local agencies, but many buildings remain off limits, yet they continue to draw thrill seekers hoping to glimpse something beyond the veil. With its tragic past and heavy atmosphere, Northern State Hospital is considered Washington's most haunted location. Fun fact, my bitch of an ex used to live in Washington. Fuck you, Shaylee, you're a bitch. The most haunted place in West Virginia is without question the Allegheny, I have no fucking clue how to say that, lunatic asylum in Weston. Originally opened in 1864 as the Weston State Hospital, it was designed to house 250 patients, but at its peak it held over 2,400, leading to horrific overcrowding and neglect. The asylum saw nearly a century of lobotomies, inhumane conditions, and patient abuse before closing in 1994. Its Gothic architecture and dark history make it one of the most terrifying and paranormal active locations in the country. Visitors report chilling encounters throughout the massive crumbling structure, ghostly apparitions in the hallways, unexplainable screams and whispers, sudden cold spots, and the feeling of being watched. Some of the most haunted areas include the lobotomy recovery room, the women's ward, and the Civil War era wing. Spirits said to linger include a young girl named Lily, who was often heard laughing or playing, and more aggressive entities that provoke dread and unease. With its tragic history and relentless paranormal activity, the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is widely regarded as West Virginia's most haunted and unforgettable destinations. One of the most haunted places in Wisconsin is the Vista Hotel in Milwaukee. Built in 1893, this elegant Victorian hotel has hosted dignitaries, celebrities, and presidents over its long history, but behind its luxurious facade lies a chilling reputation for paranormal activity that has intrigued ghost hunters and visitors alike for decades. Guests and staff have reported encounters with several spirits, the most famous being that of a mysterious woman in a long dress who appears in the hallways and even in guest rooms, known as the Lady in White. She is said to be the restless spirit of a bride who tragically died on a wedding day. Other phenomena include unexplained footsteps, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own. The hotel embraces its spooky side, offering ghost tours that delve into its haunted past. With its blend of history, elegance, and eerie encounters, the Vista Hotel remains one of Wisconsin's most fascinating haunted landmarks. You know, if I ever go to Wisconsin, I'm not going there. I'm getting me some fucking cheese curds because I'm a fat little bitch. One of the most haunted places in Wyoming is the Occidental Hotel in Buffalo. Built in 1880 during the town's booming railroad days, this historic hotel has seen its share of Wild West drama, including gunfights, outlaw visits, and tragic deaths. Over the years, the Occidental has become famous not just for its old-time charm, but for its paranormal activity that draws ghost hunters and curious visitors alike. Guests and staff have reported mysterious footsteps echoing in empty hallways, doors opening and closing on their own, and the feeling of being watched by unseen presence. The spirit of a woman named Miss Mary, who reportedly died tragically on the premises, is said to haunt the third floor, sometimes seen wandering in a white dress. Another frequent apparition is a cowboy spirit who roams the lobby and bar area. With its rich history and restless ghosts, the Occidental Hotel remains one of Wyoming's most famously haunted locations. Acting like a poppycock, pull up on you with my Glock. Did see me, they hard as rock. Did see me, they hard as rock. Pull up on you in my buggy, yeah, your bitchy looking ugly. Fuck your bitchy tryna sug me. Fuck your bitchy.